intense, disruptive, transformative. The full moon in Scorpio happening on the 12th of May definitely promises to be deeply felt. As repressed emotions rise into the surface, we may all come face to face with our deepest shadows. Although these feelings can be overwhelming, great transformation can be expected from this transit, and we may come out in the other side renewed, reborn, like a phoenix from the ashes. Hello everyone, my name is Sidonia Madhu and I'm an intuitive astrologer. If you enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe for more. I give daily astrology updates and monthly forecasts. I also provide astrology consultations for those who would like to get more in depth. I will leave a link for this down below. So now let's get a little bit deeper into the signification of this full moon and let's find out how this is going to affect your life. First of all, what is the moon? The moon is what you consider to be most deeply yourself. It's like your private affairs, those things that you're aware of, but you prefer to keep secret, not to talk about, not to share. The moon is also associated with home, with family, with intuition, with your feminine side, with how you nurture and take care of yourself and others. And it has a deep connection to your past. So now let's start by looking at the chart on the day before the full moon. So you can see here how the moon is conjunct Lilith and opposing Mercury in Taurus. Lilith is associated with unconscious mind, with the parts that are suppressed in ourselves, or the parts that we consciously reject or limit in ourselves, because it's where we feel the most misunderstood and criticized by others. It's who we are as a soul before society, culture, and family has held us down. It's where we have kept our most authentic and honest expression of our being. We can see here the symbol of Lilith, a cross and a moon on top of a cross. In astrology, a cross means the world of matter or the physical world. And the moon, who we are when nobody's watching, our inner world. Including the moon sometimes is depicted as connected not just with the past, but also with past lives. In a brief explanation, this means that Lilith has the potential to help us to raise above the physical matter and to become truly ourselves, truly divine. This just to say that the conjunction between the moon and Lilith can really help us to transmute energy, to connect with our true authentic self and raise our vibration. However, the conjunction will be opposing Mercury in Taurus. And we know that oppositions can bring the most tense aspects of the planets, the most challenging ones. So let's see closely how this opposition may affect us. So what is Mercury? Mercury represents how we share and analyze information, how we make sense of things. And in Taurus, it would imply a more stable, more restrained, more dogmatic type of communication. In an opposition like this, it can give rise to some hurtful exchanges or to a complete breakdown in communication. It may be much more difficult on this day to interact with others, as we may feel much more easily threatened, misunderstood, or criticized. We may also feel much more stubbornly fixed in our set of beliefs and values and be unwilling to listen to others or to accept any new information. Communication here may unfortunately become cold, rigid, or passive-aggressive. Grudges, resentments, and suspicion of others may run the show. So, this is a day to be more careful, more mindful with our communications. And not just that, we will also have this conjunction of Moon and Lilith be squared by Mars in Leo. And Mars, we all know that, even knowing that it's our planet that connected with power, with drive, with how we go and get things, in a negative square tense aspect, this can give rise to some aggressive, impulsive behavior. And in Leo, this may be happening due to pride or wounded ego. So we need to be extra careful there. Also because Pluto will be challenging Mercury in Taurus. Pluto that have been now in Aquarius will be making also a square tense aspect, and this time to Mercury in Taurus, meaning that some destructive and negative feelings and emotions may cut us by surprise, coming from the subconscious mind and overriding our ability to make conscious decisions or to make constructive decisions. So it is important for us to be able to step back and watch ourselves on this day. Saturn still in Pisces, squaring Jupiter in Gemini, also adds to these difficulties because it may create illusions, lies, manipulation, confusion, which makes it difficult to understand what is going on, to understand reality, or to understand what is being communicated or shared. So, what can support us on this day? We can see here that Mars in Leo also makes a beautiful trine to Venus in Aries. Venus that represents the things we love and we value, including our finances and our relationships. And in Aries, it implies a more assertive Venus, a more go-getter Venus. With Mars in Leo in this trine position, it implies that it may bring out the most positive aspects of this planet and of the sign of Leo. Leo on its best is generous, it's giving, is passionate, is assertive. It wins by making himself the center role in order to share his gifts with the world, in order to bring his light to other people. So you may benefit a lot on this day in adopting also as well this attitude, instead of letting yourself suck into petty disputes, into grudges, into resentment, into hurtful communications. It is much more supportive on this day to just go after the things you love and value and to generously share them with people, being the sun who gives the light to others. So now let's go into the sun-moon opposition. In all full moons, the moon opposes the sun. But what does this mean? The sun represents our public persona, our identity, how we go about ourselves, and we share and we exchange and we express ourselves in the world. While the moon, as we already mentioned, it's our inner world, our secret world, our private affairs. So what happens when these two sides of ourselves are in opposition? This means that something needs to be recalibrated, rebalanced, and realigned. And much like a Libra, you may be required now to put things on a scale and judge them. And maybe perhaps even cut some things off. The things that may be coming out right now may also be the result of things that have been developing over a certain period of time. That may be the result of past actions and past deeds from yourself and others. And you may find yourself now collecting the results or the repercussions of those past actions and deeds. And this may completely shift your direction. The moon will also be opposing Uranus. At the same time, it will be opposing the sun. And Uranus represents the planet of innovation, sudden change, and insight. However, in an opposition like this, the Uranus effects may be a little bit more on the side of disruptive and destructive. And this disruption and destruction may come from actions of others or even from yourself if you feel triggered during that day. And these actions may completely shift the direction of things. As Taurus, the sign where the sun and Uranus is, that is being opposed by the moon, is a sign that is also closely connected with the earth, with the economy, with the finances. We may unfortunately have to be prepared that there may occur some disruption or some destructive actions in relation to our economy or finances, or even some natural disaster, especially when it's connected to the earth, volcanoes, earthquakes. I know it's not very good news, but it's also possible, unfortunately, under this type of tense aspect. So what can help us and support us on this day? We can see here how the moon, at the same time it is opposing the sun and Uranus in Taurus, it is also making a beautiful trine to Saturn. Pluto is also sextiling Saturn. And in its place, Saturn is sextiling Uranus. Saturn being the planet that is receiving all these positive aspects. So what does this mean? This means that on this day, we can achieve great breakthrough and even innovation if we can harness the energy of Saturn, which is patience, discipline, hard work, commitment, perseverance, integrity, maturity. If we can apply these qualities of Saturn during this day to our thinking, to our communication, we can persevere through any obstacles that may come into our way and even achieve great breakthrough, transformation, and innovation. No matter how this full moon evolves, my friends, even if it is in the most negative aspects and manifestations, you can expect some very transformative, deep, and life-changing events, even if it is just a transformation of your way of thinking that can completely shift the direction and the dynamic of your life and of your relationships. So this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you would like to know more about what is expecting you in the months to come, I also invite you to watch my videos regarding the entry of Lilith in Scorpio and Neptune in Aries, which will conjunct Saturn soon, as Saturn will also enter Aries. It was an honor to support you today. I wish you a very happy, very blessed full moon in Scorpio. Much love, my friends. Stay safe.